For today's video, we're playing some good old Ramp Dragon, the classic list from before the mini. With the release of the mini, we picked up Terminus Dragoon, which is 3 cost 3/2 Rush Bane with the fanfare that subtracts 1 card from the cost of 2 random Dragon Falls in your hand. We put this card into the deck because if it discounts Celestial Worm God, or a Relic Dragon, then you can play both on the same turn on when you're at 10 PP, which is pretty sick. So that's the combo we are trying for this turn. I guess it also works out as like a bit of storm damage if you need it. The list is mostly the same besides Terminus Dragoon. I also put in 1 copy of Serene Sea Shaman here because it's between this and Silver Scale Sentry, right? But my opinion is that Silver Scale Sentry is a bit less synergistic with Serene Sea Shaman. The point is that because when you're playing both Silver Scale Sentry and Irma, then you have to pick which one to evolve during your evolve turn. So my hope is that by running Terminus Dragoon, we can discount Serene Sea Shaman, which makes it actually playable, so you can just spend all your evo points on Irma in the early game, and then that will let you go into the late game a bit smoother, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, so that's the list, and let's look at some games. So our first game, is against Sword, and we are going second here. I believe that was going second. Honestly, I didn't get that good of a look. So against Sword, neutral did get a bunch of new support, but I think right now the more common list that you run into is just going to be Rally. So it could be either. Right now we don't really know which one, so we're just gonna, I mean, our early game's the same no matter what, right? Just like sort of ramp. So ramp we shall. And then here they play the Troya, which tells us this is neutral Sword most likely. Against neutral Sword, I am very scared of a Wise, which is why I picked the Stampede here. The problem with picking the Stampede here, as you'll see next turn, is that it's very low tempo. Sword likes to, no matter the Sword deck, it likes to go wide. So here, my opponent high rolls a bit here with 2 Blooming Dancers. Unfortunately, I should have definitely picked the other spell, but since I picked Stampede, I can't clear all of them. But I see an out here, so we're just gonna play to our out, so we go ahead and get rid of the Troya. So my opponent plays the Charlemagne here, and then they go ahead and evolve that Charlemagne. So things are going well for them. My opponent's already at 4 evos right now. Fortunately, they don't make it to 5 quite yet. But so we can now play to our out, which is of course just to play Relic Dragon and just top deck a good card. I put the Venomoth back in here just to maximize the chances even a little bit of a good card, and I pick up a very nice card here with Worm God. It unfortunately stopped me from ramping anymore since it deletes all the cards that cost 7 or less, but the heal and the tempo swing is definitely much more worth it, so we'll just have to tide ourselves over for the next couple of turns before we reach 10 PP. We can start playing out big payoffs then. So there's the Troya coming out from them. Let's put that at 5, and there's the 3rd Charlemagne. So I'm guessing they're running a very tight list, maybe with only Charlemagne and Roland as commanders. Maybe not even Roland, we don't know yet. But it's quite unlikely at this point that they have a Wise, seeing how many Charlemagnes they drew. So we're just gonna go ahead and ramp up to, not 10, but next time we'll reach 10. This is, they gave us a free turn, we're just gonna go, oh, I did ramp up to 10. We're gonna go ahead and exchange the Drazael because 1 copy is definitely more than enough, and then we go ahead and try to high roll a bit with the Terminus Dragoon. The hits are pretty good. Venomoth is not super useful to hit, but Relic Dragon is definitely a nice hit. So there's the Roland, so they do have Roland. And they're playing Kyria as well, which not super common in neutral Sword list, I don't think, but I mean it's definitely an option. And there's the Grimnir, take up enough damage here. But the Relic Dragon will heal me back up, put himself back in the deck. Now my deck is all 7 costs or lower, so if I just pick up Relic Dragon here, it's pretty good. The Generic Dragon very nice here to stabilize. You can go ahead and play it right away. And then all that glitters, and then play the Voracious Venomoth. All that glitters first will just buff the Ward, which is maybe a bit better if I can get this Venomoth to stick. And then decrease their max HP as well, hopefully. Unfortunately, most of the roll went to the board stats, which is not very necessary, so... their hand is probably mostly not cost increased also, I would say, but there's their 6 cost Grimnir, so I guess it did work out for me. So of course I could just play Radic Dragon here and aim for an and try for an OTK, but that's like very dangerous because if I don't get it I will probably be screwed. So I play the Drazaya here to be safe. They've already spent 2 Grimnirs, they have no Evo points. It's very unlikely they can kill me through this Drazaya, and it seems like that's the case, so they go ahead and play the Goddess of Condemnation to tide themselves over 1 turn, and there's the day. Unfortunately, our board's not doing that well either, so we have to go ahead and play the Worm God to hopefully set up for an OTK next turn if I can. Go ahead and play the Relic Dragon. As you can see here, I managed to play Relic Dragon and Worm God on the same turn because earlier when I played Terminus Dragoon, the Dragoon discounted my Relic Dragon to 6, and now Worm God is able to discount it to 3, so I can play them together, which is something you couldn't do before. And I think my guess is that they explicitly balanced the cost of Celestial Worm God around not being able to do this, so now you can do it, which is pretty cool. So they go ahead and play the Voracious Venomoth here. Let's see how those stats split. So most of it went board again, which is not super useful, but at least their max HP is pretty low, right? So here, as long as I survive, I'm pretty sure I should win next turn. So there's the Day again, and then Eve. 2 special investigations, and then there's another Evan, sorry, not Eve, Evan. And there's the Chronos, which is what I was scared of. Chronos is very bad for this deck because most of our followers cost like 7 or more. Luckily we have cards discounted thanks to Celestial Worm God, so we aren't too screwed yet. My opponent here is, I believe, trying to... So they have 2 Alice here, which is a total of 12 damage. Day is 4, so if they have a 4 PP way to deal 4 damage, I did, but thankfully it looks like they don't, so they go for the Blooming Dancer here. And then they left the Relic Dragon on my board, which means that I just have lethal. So yeah, that's it for this game. Let's move on to the next one. Our next game will be against Haven, and we are going second again. Going second is not too bad. You get to draw more cards, which gives you more chances to ramp, and you also get to evolve Irma earlier. But then again, going first, you have just 1 natural ramp just by virtue of starting first, so hard to say which one's better. Anyway, Haven, at this point in time, it's like 99% it's gonna be Lena. So we have nothing to do here, no reason to play Irma. Or we're not on turn 2, that's the reason why we don't play Irma. So they're crystallizing their stuff, so this is probably Lena. It might be Amulet, but like, no, realistically it's gonna be Lena. So there's 2 Divine Wolves from them here. And we can finally start ramping now with Waterworm's Blessing. So there's the Divine Wolf that comes out. You know, this card's called Divine Wolf, so does 1 card represent 2 wolves? In that case, when you summon another copy, it doesn't mean there's 4 wolves. I don't really get how that works, but anyway. So we're just gonna go ahead and ramp with Irma here. And then, I don't believe I played Waterworm's Blessing. Yeah, I played the Terminus Dragoon here, 2 reasons. One reason is because Waterworm's Blessing is probably more useful next turn when I'm at 7. Because when you're in Overflow, this card actually draws. I don't think there is particularly a case where playing Waterworm's Blessing here would have been better. And the other thing is that while my hand is still low on followers, I can more accurately try to get Terminus Dragoon to hit Celestial Worm God to try and high roll them a bit. So we're gonna go ahead and trade the Irma, leave the Bane on board in case they I have a follower I need to deal with. So they go ahead and keep drawing, and there's the Explorer of Mysteries from them. I'm gonna go ahead and trade off into my Dragoon. But the Dragoon's already done its job, so it's fine. So now it's time for me to ramp. I'm just trying to find more ramp cards and try to improve my hand quality as well. Drazaya was not particularly useful against Lena Haven. Fortunately, I don't pick up a ramp here, so I'm still stuck at 9 PP next turn, which means that Celestial Worm God will not be able to halve the cost of the cards in my hand yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and play it anyway, just because I don't want to die. And I can draw more cards here. We're drawing more cards here, improve my deck quality next turn. I don't really need to draw ramp at this point, right? So playing Worm God here will get rid of the ramp cards in my deck so that I can draw the high cost value cards. And it will improve the quality of my Worm God next turn as well. I just saw them Fuse Divine Minister. I think it's worth probably paying attention to that. And that's the third copy of Divine Wolves that they pulled out. So I do manage to clear out board here, which is a bit unfortunate, but it's fine. Wait, yeah, they did clear it, yeah. There goes our board, but we now have a full board and a very, very degenerate hand, if I do say so myself. So we're gonna go ahead and play Degenerate Dragon here. We saw them fuse Divine Minister as well, so it's very unlikely they have means to deal with a very, very wide board. So we go ahead and play another Degenerate Dragon. In theory, it is actually better to play All That Glitters here right now before playing the third Degenerate, because if this draws me a spell, then I can get more value out of the Degenerate, but I think I didn't pay attention at the time. I was too busy distracted by the notion of playing 3 Degenerate Dragons in one turn, so that's what we do. Now we go ahead and play All That Glitters. Since our deck is already all 7 cost and higher followers, there's no reason to play Celestial Worm God before playing All That Glitters. So we go ahead and play Celestial Worm God here. Go ahead and discount the cards and then just evolve for good measure. The nice thing about this big Degenerate Dragon here is that if they play Lena and evolve it, it will still hit this, but they can't, so they just concede. And our last game for today will be against Ghost. I mean not Ghost, against Shadow, and we are going first. I don't know why I got so used to saying, I think I got so used to saying Ghost Shadow that now when I see Shadow I just call it Ghost. I don't know why. Anyway, against Shadow and we're going first. Unfortunately no ram cards in hand, so we just go ahead and pass. My opponent also passes. We don't know what they're playing. Shadow still has like 3 decks, so thankfully we top deck Oracle here, so we're able to ramp, and there's 2-fold Grace, which means this is most likely gonna be Last Words. Unfortunately our hand is a bit shit, so I go ahead and play Terminus Dragoon just to protect our face for a bit. Go ahead and discount the Relic Dragon so I can use it to maybe high roll. And that's the Exhumer, which definitely confirms this is going to be a Last Words. Nothing to do here with Crystallized Dormant Dragon, and we just pass. Depending on what my opponent does, I can't take a lot of damage here. So we go ahead and hit me in the face, and then get rid of their the Angel of War, just to get the amulet out probably so they can play it. Yep. So now we have nothing to do, so we are going to go for the high roll special here. Go ahead and play Relic Dragon. Of course this is very unlikely to benefit, but we pick up Draziel here because I guess we're just that good. So we go ahead and just slam down the Draziel here, and then evolve the Relic Dragon just to hit them in the face. Yeah, that's another thing that Terminus Dragon is great at doing, is letting you play Relic Dragon for 6 instead of the 7. So actually Hellfire Strike from them, and then instant that, so we know that we managed to force them to sink and instant that to clear them, which is very good. It means we only have 3 instant that's left in deck. I'm sorry, only have 2 left instant that's left. So there, our Relic Dragon managed to survive that turn, which means we can go face with it. Nothing to do here, so once again we just ramp. Dragon Shrine unfortunately won't pop this turn, so I go ahead and just play the Deep Sea Shaman. There's nothing else to do anyway. It's called Serene Sea Shaman, sorry. Nothing else to do, so we go ahead and slam the Shaman down, put a little body on board as well as a ramp up to 10 next turn. So my opponent goes ahead and put that Relic Dragon back in the deck, and then they crystallize their Colonel and play another instant net here. Definitely a risky maneuver on their part, because they should definitely be saving their instant nets instead of just wasting them like this, but I guess that's what my opponent chooses to do. I have no reason to stop them, so we're gonna go ahead and play Generate Dragon here just to draw some cards. Play Lowly Dragon first, just to make sure our buff isn't wasted. Now we can play All That Glitters. We also seal that Colonel on their board if they don't like buff it or anything. I mean, if they don't destroy it themselves or anything, it just stays there. Of course, the goal is that if I don't let them destroy that kernel on their own, then I can just play a Lowly Dragon next turn, which is also a consideration, so I just passed. But they have all this, so they will be able to heal. And they use their last instant there, which we are very, very happy to see, definitely. So now they have no instant net, no way to clear white boards. And there's the Petrol Pop, unfortunately, very annoying card for us to deal with. Honestly, I feel like just slamming Lowly Dragon might not have been bad. I was scared of dying though at just 14. And with Dark Alice on board, honestly, probably could have just slammed Lowly Dragon 2 turns in a row and just won that way, but yeah. So I go ahead and play Relic Dragon here, which will put Lowly Dragon back in the deck. Pick up another Relic Dragon, which is nice. We go ahead and put our value followers that we actually want to draw in our deck, but unfortunately we don't pick another one up here. Go ahead and trade off our Relic Dragons to make sure they don't get transformed by Patchwork Pup. And then we just pass because there's nothing better to do. And there's their Dark Alice coming out. Go ahead and trade. And we play an Angel of War here. It looks like they don't have extra copies of Dark Alice, which is very good for us. So unfortunately, our hand is not looking great. It's full of like inconsequential ramp cards and stuff, so I have to try to get somewhere with that, I guess. Go ahead and play the Irma just to heal, actually. And also to get rid of... No, I didn't get rid of it, I guess. Then we play Mighty Gust. Oh yeah, this does get rid of it, so we'll just go ahead and sweep their whole board. And we set up a Dormant Dragon here. Honestly, there's no instant death, so maybe Dormant Dragon isn't that useful, but now I have to try to not die at 12, which is a bit scary, but there's the kernel, so I guess I'm not dead yet. So let's Water Worms to draw, and then we just play the Drazael here just to tide ourselves over for 1 turn. And heal up as well, should prevent us from dying next turn as well. Last Wish doesn't really have Chronos, so we don't have to worry about that. Unfortunately, we lose the 50-50 there, so our Storm and Dragon, Static, whatever the hell dragon it was called, doesn't get to stay around. And it looks like our opponent is very much out of things to do, so there's a 2-fold Gretchen to help them draw cards. Oh, they didn't, right. Because they have an Amaterasu on board, it doesn't even like help them pop the amulets. So my opponent is just gonna pass here. Very uncomfortably, I still can't kill them from here, so I'll just go ahead and play the Dragoon here and try to just chip damage down so I can hopefully kill them at some point. Put the Venomoth back. We pick up another Relic Dragon. I don't know why I'm not putting Lowly Dragon back. I should definitely be putting Lowly Dragon back in the deck here, but oh well. Anyway, so I pick up a Lowly Dragon here, so this is just lethal. So yeah, that's it for this game. So that is it for today's video. I think it ended up being a bit long, I'm not actually that sure, but anyway, this is the list that I've been playing. Honestly, this deck feels worse now than it used to before, probably due to me running Terminus Dragoon over Silver Scale Sentry. It turns out being able to ramp is probably more valuable than trying to hero with Terminus Dragoon. At least that's how it feels to me. I mean, who knows? Maybe this deck is just like, oh, this deck is really bad in the Chronos as well, which might be another reason why this deck doesn't feel as good as usual, or rather as it did before. It's still very high rolly in nature, so it's more of a fun deck that you can just play and just like roll the gacha basically. So you can give it a try if you want for that reason. Keep in mind this deck is stupidly expensive as well with a ton of legendaries, so if you want to play it, you have to keep that in mind. But anyway, that's it for this video, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.